There's a problem every time summer comes around. First, there's a dream of what summer is gonna be, what it's gonna look like, all the memories I'm gonna make. And that dream is immediately followed by a pressure, a fear, the sound of the clock immediately ticking. I better get it done. I better fulfill the dream, this expectation that I've set up for myself. And I stress and I stress and I dream and I stress, and before I know it, the summer's passed me by and I feel like a failure once again. Summer presents a dream, but it also presents a problem. And even if you get to go on that amazing vacation, 1 or 2 weeks of summer vacation does not a summer make. And what's going on in all those days and weeks in between when you're just sitting at your computer, holding your breath until you get to step onto that plane? That's not a life to me, and it's not a summer to me. This video is for anybody who's ever thought, well, I'll have a summer once I get the paid time off. I'll have a summer once I have the money for a vacation. I'll have a great summer once I have a great love. I'll be happy when. There's infinite ways to say you'll be happy later. And in the meantime, you feel your life passing you by. And after years of letting the summer dream pass me by, I finally realized the secret to having it. I changed, and I haven't looked back since. This is how to have a summer before it's over. This video is sponsored by Wayfair, and I'll tell you more about them later. In this video, I want to talk about the thing that we're all really chasing. I'm gonna blow your mind with a revelation that is going to give you years of your life back. And I'm gonna talk about the practical, attainable things you can do right now, even in the most boring day, even a work day, so that you can reach the end of the summer and feel like, yeah, I did it. I still am gonna hold out for those great vacations and summer trips and parties, but I know they won't fill every day. And I know there's a lot of time to fill in between, and that's when my life is happening. And I talk to like friends and family a lot who are feeling like, ugh, if only I could get through this thing that's happening now. If only I could fast forward. And it's heartbreaking because your life is in those days. First, I want you to think about what it is you're really chasing. And I think one of the best ways to do this is to look back on childhood. We've all got like a magical childhood image. Close your eyes and take a moment to visualize what actually are the things that you're romanticizing from those childhood summers. Bare feet in green grass, laying on warm concrete next to the pool, looking up through leaves. Every single damn berry. Laughing and running in a yard while the sun is just about to set. And wind. Always wind. Summer wind. Light wind. The things I miss, the things I want to time travel back to are tiny, sensory, mundane moments. And even some of the extravagant memories that I love. An amazing vacation. What in that vacation was so amazing? It's the feeling of your feet in the water and no homework to do. It's the feeling of an early morning workout and clean towels. It's the feeling of getting to sip a latte with nowhere to be, nowhere to go. For me and for most of us, it's really not the extravagant party. It's really not the extravagant trip. It's the tiny sensory moments that those things provide an opportunity for. It's the laughter at the party. It's running around barefoot afterwards. It's trying to catch lightning bugs in my grandma's backyard. It's nothing more than that. That's the feeling of summer. If I can have that in a day now, do you know how my mind would melt? If I spent a single evening for 5 minutes with a friend catching lightning bugs in a jar, I'm ready to die. Like, that's everything. Play the movie of your romanticized childhood summer in your head. And what are those moments you see? If you can identify what those sensory moments are that you so love and clung to, you can begin to notice them in your day-to-day, even in a work day, even a day when you're chained to the desk. The sensory experience of that morning coffee, the sensory experience of getting to sit on your front step and like watch the wind through the trees when you take a 10-minute break from work. You are going to be amazed at the change that happens when you start to notice those cropping up in your day right now. They're happening in every day, even in the most mundane days. And if you can notice them and actually savor them, capture them, take a mental snapshot, you start experiencing these moments of delight. They're tiny, they're mundane, and they're flying by us all the time, but if you can capture one, you will be overwhelmed with these moments of delight that are buried within our grayest days over the summer. I want to take a quick pause to share a very exciting announcement. And if you love my content and you're liking my videos, boy, do I have a gift for you. Because Wayfair, who's sponsoring today's video, has given me their own show on their channel. And wow, let's just say, big mistake on their part. I am running wild over there. You guys already know Wayfair for providing all of the home goods, home decor, home essentials that you could ever dream of, but they also have their own YouTube channel. If you're liking my videos, you can find me doing a whole season of videos on the Wayfair YouTube channel called Iconic Objects. We're doing deep dives into some of the most ubiquitous but peculiar design objects that you can probably find in your own home. I'm talking the Monstera plant, I'm talking the recliner, KitchenAid mixer, lawn flamingos, the Live, Laugh, Love sign. And why it became a cultural phenomenon, there's a lot more to it than you might guess. I dropped a hint about this a couple months ago in a vlog. I was thrifting. I was collecting some signage in the spirit of Live, Laugh, Love. Let me tell you what, if you are enjoying having a very silly time on this channel and a real design deep dive, you're gonna have a blast. So go make sure to check out Iconic Objects. It is a silly, silly fun time. And despite my best efforts, you're going to learn something as well. Make sure to check out the Wayfair YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, duh. I'll put a link in the description of this video if you wanna check it out. Mwah, mwah. And thank you to Wayfair for sponsoring today's video. With this, I'm about to change your life. I had a friend who once a month, he would say to me, you know, I wish I could just fast forward through the next month until I get that paycheck, until I finish that job interview, until things are better with this friend, until. And at one point I realized he'd said it every month for like 6 months. And when I noticed the pattern, I was like, do you realize that you just wish to fast forward through the last 6 months of your life? It's your life. There's a half a year of your life that you want to just erase. And it's a mindset that we can all get in sometimes. Like, I really want to be happy. I really want to feel joy. And I'm gonna start feeling it once I get that other job. I'm gonna start feeling happy once I get that promotion. Once I make sure I ace that interview. Once I have the income to spend on a nice vacation. Once I find a great love. Then I'll be happy. That's when I'll start. And in the meantime, your life can pass you by. Now let me let you in on a little secret. The very periods that we most wish we could fast forward through, they're usually like times of unknown. You don't know where your career is gonna go. You don't know if all your work is gonna be paid off. You don't know if you'll ever meet that soulmate. Those very times that we all wish ourselves out of are the very times that we later on look back and romanticize. The time of the unknown. That's the time of possibility. That's the time of options. The time of the unknown is the magic time. You're in the special time right now. Think of your own parents. My parents, I know, all the adults in the generation above me, what I hear them look back on romantically is not the time they made all that money. And it's not the time they got the big promotion or bought the big house. It's when they were young and nothing was certain, and they made stupid decisions, and they tried silly things and didn't know what the point was and didn't know where it would go, and were full of fear. It's that fearful time of the unknown that everyone misses when life becomes too predictable, too scheduled, too midlife crisis. We want that time of unknown. We crave it more than anything. It's why we love a memoir. I think of one of the most, a really great memoir, Just Kids, which talks about the early years of punk rock legend Patti Smith and iconic photographer Robert Mapplethorpe when they were living in New York in the 70s. And they were just dirt poor, and neither of them had a career. And they were just living off of nothing and making things and trying things and throwing stuff up on the wall and seeing what stuck. It's just the most romanticized memoir, and people love this memoir, and it's full of grit and richness and unknown and possibility. And I guarantee if you were living in that moment, you wouldn't like it in the moment. None of us want it when we're in the moment, but we love it looking back. So if you're that person sitting there saying like, okay, I agree with what you're saying about moments of delight and sensory experiences, but I don't even know what my future is yet. I don't even know if things are gonna be okay for me. You are in the special time. And I'm still in that time too. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'll have a family. I don't know if I'll have the house and security or a legacy. I don't know. Because the truth is there are a million ways to say, okay, but this thing in my life isn't settled yet. And this thing isn't taken care of yet. And this thing isn't secured yet. There's a million ways to do that. And the truth is that things will never be perfect. They'll never be settled. We're always in transition. We're always readjusting. We're always recalibrating. And once we achieve our dreams, we're really good at moving on to the next. But the big secret is that the more you are in that time of yearning, hoping, wondering, the more you are in that golden period. The period that people look back on years later and want to go back to. The period that people make movies about and write memoirs about. You're in it now. Congratulations. Sometimes I sit and I close my eyes and I imagine that I'm older. Some age that I picture of being full of certainty and stability. And I pretend like someone's talking to me and being like, do you want me to teleport you back to that time of unknown? And I say, yeah, do it. And they say, okay. And then I open my eyes and I'm there. And it's happening right now. Now, practically speaking, yes, I also love being on a vacation, taking the great trip and doing the great thing. But it's just not logistically possible every day or every week of the summer. I think it's really like a big loss to be someone who just lives for the 2 or 3 or 4 weeks of vacation travel they get in a year. Do you not get to feel like you're living in the rest of those weeks? It's such a loss. To me, a couple weeks of travel does not a happy life make. So recently, after I went on a trip, I just went alone and doing the things I love, waking up early, which I never do when I'm home, turning off my phone, leaving my phone in my hotel room, doing a morning workout, having a luxurious coffee in the morning, all of the things that sent me over the moon on a vacation that I had to like scrimp and save and schedule for were all things that I could do literally every day at home. So picture your dream vacation. Picture a vacation you've loved and take apart all of the building blocks that made you love it. And maybe some of those things you can't recreate at home. Maybe some of those things don't fit into a work day, but I bet a bunch of them do. And if you can get even 1 or 2 of those things into your work day, at home, in your neighborhood, at your computer over the summer, you will end the summer feeling like you aced it. And maybe you'll also have some trips, and maybe you'll also have a great summer evening party, but there's so many days to fill in between. For me, these are some of the things that I have extracted from my favorite vacations and brought into every day, if you need some ideas. First of all, the feeling of turning off my phone or leaving it in my room. Oh my gosh, listen, I've tried the screen time apps. Turns out I can get around all of them. I've outsmarted all of them. It turns out I still control all of them. I found it so much better to just power my phone down. Just power it down and leave it in the room, and I'm like immediately free. Waking up in the morning and not immediately going to the computer. Instead, doing the morning coffee, and I don't have to have a beach view. I like to take my coffee and sit on my front steps. Sit on the front steps, stare out your street in suburbia, your street in the city, your street in the country, your street facing a brick wall, doesn't really matter. Sit just at a window with your coffee and you make it that vacation moment. How do you drink your coffee on vacation? Drink it that way in the morning. Make it an experience. Sometimes I get out of bed and I go take a second nap on my front steps and lay in the sun on my front steps. I think I look drunk. I think I look like I passed out drunk on my front steps, but I get up first thing in the morning, I make my coffee, I put on an outfit I can tan in, and I lay on my front steps completely prostrated and play a podcast, play some music, and I feel like I'm getting up and like getting my day started, and I'm really just sleeping again. But you know what, I also am getting my day started. I'm getting it started in this feeling of like connecting to the world, connecting to the season, connecting to the morning, and that feeling of connection carries me through the whole day. It starts the day so differently. Oh my God, stretch one time in your day. I don't know what it is about stretching, but it just feels like I'm living life to the fullest. There's something, it's because like there's no really end goal to it. I'm not burning calories. I'm not, you know, trying to hit my next rep goal. There's no real goal. It just feels good. It's sensory. It's in your body. It's luxurious. There's nowhere to be. That's the feeling of being at the beach, of standing at the water's edge. And there's no appointment to run to. There's no promotion to be had. There's no luncheon to sprint off to. You're there. You've made it to the end of the world. And there's nowhere to be, and there's no one to be, and there's nothing to do. If you can find those moments in your day, for me it's in stretching. Laying out on the floor and stretching. Why? What are we doing? Nothing. What are we getting done? Pretty much nothing. And it's the best. In your work day, when you have to be working, you have to be near a computer, it can make the world of difference. This one is such like a YouTube girl morning routine thing, but I do love it. I've started buying up lemons and oranges. Every morning, I go to my cutting board, I stand in my kitchen. Maybe I play a podcast, maybe I play music, maybe I entertain myself with my own amazing thoughts. And I just stand and I slice up my oranges and I slice up my lemons and I put them in like a beautiful carafe of water. And then I've got like this lemon orange citrus spa water drink all day. You can also do cucumbers. I've learned I actually don't like cucumbers. I like lemons and oranges. And I have like lemony orange filled water that I'm drinking all day long. I have like a beautiful carafe from Anthropology. The sensory experience of drinking that throughout the day, I feel like I'm the richest lady on earth. I feel like a queen. And almost more exciting is the sensory physical experience of being there and slicing up the fruit, thinking about it, feeling it, watching the process. This is what life is. The tiny mundane moments. It's amazing. It's the best feeling. I don't know if I sound like I'm on drugs, but I'm not. I really recommend trying it. Just like be with the lemon, be with the orange in that moment. You're gonna feel so good. You're gonna feel so spoiled. In a day where you have to be at work and you have to be near the computer, you have to be on your phone and you don't get to go out and party, like it's this little indulgent, sensory, like delicious experience that you get to savor. And there's no point to it, and that's what's great. Bubble tea, pretty much anything with bubble tea. Thinking about bubble tea, waiting in line for bubble tea, getting the bubble tea, going on a walk with a bubble tea, listening to a podcast with a bubble tea. Pretty much anything with a bubble tea is gonna be good. When I can organize myself to do this, it makes for the best day. To start my morning with a walk and listening to a podcast, maybe I bring my coffee with me, or like sending voice memos to a friend. A day that I'm really not looking forward to filming, or I'm really not looking forward to editing, or whatever it is, I'm gonna start that day off with something I'm really excited about, which is going for a walk, bringing my coffee with me, and listening to a friend's voice in my head and giggling. Just like giggling from minute one. It's the best. I feel like I'm on vacation. The morning workout for sure, which I don't usually do, but if you can pull off a morning workout, I mean, say no more. Or meditating for no reason. I'm not like a super habitual meditator. I am a big fan, but I usually only do it in like a time of crisis. Usually a guy has broken my heart and I have to meditate, and it's the only way I'm gonna survive is if I do meditation. But if I can take the time, if I can have the awareness to go in the middle of the afternoon and lay out on like my afternoon bed, and it's just like a lazy, unproductive moment. Make the moment lazy. Make it luxurious. Languish. Please, for the love of God, you gotta languish. Get nothing done. Do something so unproductive. Something that's just for your body or just for your senses. Something about it becomes very romantic all of a sudden. And that's a big hack for me, is you get a little narcissistic with it. You see yourself as the character in the movie. And your life is a movie. It's all a movie. Mine's a YouTube channel. But I think it's why I have a YouTube channel. It's because I've always like pictured life like through the lens of this movie. And as soon as you see the mundane moments of your life in the movie version, they become really romantic and really beautiful and really sweet, and you kind of want to draw out the boring moments. and the hardship. Hardship translates so well to the movie version of your life because any good movie is about an underdog, right? We love the underdog story, having to overcome something, the uncertainty, not knowing what's ahead of you. To start playing the movie version of your life. It really is why I was always fated to have a YouTube channel, because it's always how I've seen my life. It's self-indulgent and it makes life so fun. It's like, if you can get into that perspective, would this be a scene in a movie? It's usually like boring moments, mundane moments, difficult moments, stressful moments. Those are the moments that go in the movie. Hoping for something, wanting for something, not knowing. Those are the movie moments. And if you can start seeing them through that lens, then you find like a beauty and an excitement in them. There's this excitement in not knowing if I'll get the thing I want. There's like this excitement in like savoring the seconds of this really boring afternoon. When you could also like be wishing you're at a party, be wishing you're at a festival, be wishing you're on vacation, but instead you're just in this like slow, still, kind of boring afternoon. That's a scene out of The Sandlot, 100% easy. So if you can start seeing the stressful, upsetting, unknown, and boring moments of your life in the movie version of your life, it starts to get really exciting. I really started doing a lot of these things over the past couple years, and it has just filled my days with delight. The word is delight, with joy, with this like magical, sparkly, glittery delight. I hope that there's a thing or two here that inspires you, or maybe it makes you think of a friend or a family member that is always saying that, I'll be happy when, I'll have a summer when. But I hope you get to have the gift of summer now. It's here and it's ready for you and it's happening. And you just have to learn how to spot it and savor it. And then one day in the future, you will have the money, and you will have the promotion, and you will have the family and the great love, and you'll look back and be like, remember that summer where I'd just like sleep on my front stairs in the morning with coffee and sunglasses and everyone thought I was like passed out drunk on my front steps? Those were really good days. The summer's not over. Go get it.